Next at 5, North Carolina takes a drenching from Hurricane Ophelia.
Brian Norcross here in Weather Control. Ophelia is just offshore, and they're getting pounded about like we got pounded in Katrina. We'll have the full update here in just a moment.
In New Orleans tonight, new hopes of reopening parts of the city sooner than expected.
A cemetery cleanup controversy right here in South Florida, courtesy of Katrina. We're live with a story you'll see only on 4.
DCF is called in after a little South Florida girl with autism is found alone and in danger.
Closure could be nearing for Shannon Melendi's family 11 years after the South Florida girl disappeared. CBS 4 is live in Atlanta.
And are you at risk for the flu? What you need to know to protect yourself now. Hello, South Florida. I'm Maggie Rodriguez.
I'm Rob Hanrahan. CBS 4 News at 5 starts right now.
Now, live. This is CBS 4 News First at 5.
First up tonight, Hurricane Ophelia pounding eastern North Carolina. And it's going to be a long night for those folks as Ophelia slowly skirts the coast. With it moving so slowly, you can imagine flooding is a major concern from the storm.
We have live team coverage. We begin with CBS 4's Drew Levinson riding out the storm in Atlantic Beach.
We are certainly feeling the effects of Hurricane Ophelia now. Sustained winds at 35 miles an hour, gusts up to 55 miles an hour. As you can see behind me, the Atlantic Ocean creeping in on us, actually moving quite quickly. It is high tide here in North Carolina right now. Now, the governor just a little while ago said that this storm is going to be much worse than anticipated. It appears he's right.
As Hurricane Ophelia flirts with the Carolina coast, she's gotten a power boost. Signs and power lines are down. Tens of thousands are without electricity. Even before the brunt of the storm hits, it's feared this pier could collapse. Waves are tearing into the coastline. Bad news for an area prone to beach erosion. And flooding could be another problem. Because Ophelia is moving so slowly, it's expected to pound this region for hours, dropping up to 15 inches of rain. The meandering and erratically moving storm formed off the coast of Florida last week and has given forecasters headaches. They've had trouble predicting exactly where she'll strike. And unlike Katrina's direct hit on the Gulf Coast 2 weeks ago, Ophelia's will be more of a glancing blow, making it hard for some here to take it seriously. Some decided to ride it out at a local watering hole. Matt Slovic reluctantly stayed.
From past experiences, you don't mess around with Mother Nature because these people are in defiance of Mother Nature, and Mother Nature will whip you every time.
North Carolina Governor Mike Easley this afternoon reiterated not to take things lightly.
If you have been asked to evacuate, please do so, because these floods are going to be worse than anticipated.
Most people have evacuated. They feel there's no reason to hang out here. The folks in these parts have seen their fair share of hurricanes, and Ophelia is not worth the risk.
So if anyone thought this was going to be just a mild Category 1 storm and not going to cause a lot of damage, they were kidding themselves. In Atlantic Beach, North Carolina, I'm Drew Levinson, CBS 4 News.
And our team coverage moves now to exactly where Ophelia is. CBS 4's meteorologist Brian Norcross live in Weather Control with the coordinates. Brian.
Rob, aren't we going to get tired soon of mild storms, mild hurricanes, minimal hurricanes, and such talk as that? We certainly learned here in South Florida that there is no such thing. And they're going to learn it there today. Take a look at the satellite picture of Ophelia, and you can see the jog to the right it's made, and it looks like this storm is going to move right near the coast as it slowly edges to the northeast. Now, this purple area down to the south down here, that's where the strongest winds were found by the hurricane hunters. And when they rotate around up in here, that is going to be quite a windstorm, and it's going to cause significant storm surge flooding. Here's the radar now. We can see this eye wall. This was 12 hours ago, so this was this morning, trying to form. But notice there were breaks in it down here, but there's strong parts to it up in there where you see the reds. Now, watch it move up to the coast, stall right near Wilmington, and then make the jog over to the northeast. But look now at the eye wall. It's solid all the way around, and it's exceptionally large, near 60 miles across. Reminds us of Francis last year, but they are just about to get pounded there in Atlantic Beach. indication there's going to be significant flooding up here in Pimlico Sound. Here are the numbers as of 5 o'clock. Winds at 85. There you see moving northeast now at 7 miles an hour, only 40 miles east of Wilmington. So here slowly it moves on by tomorrow, and then it picks up speed. Looks like most likely to stay offshore, although some possibility of a little effect there on Cape Cod, and then certainly gone by late in the weekend. So it is going to be a tough night and day tomorrow in North Carolina. And the tropics are heating up. Another tropical wave we have to watch. I'll have that for you in a few minutes.
Thank you, Brian. Now 2.5 weeks after Hurricane Katrina, there are more signs of hope for the future in the devastated city of New Orleans. CBS 4's Elliot Rodriguez is live in satellite control with the latest. Elliot.
Well, Maggie, the mayor of New Orleans says he wants to hear jazz in his city again, and that could happen as early as next week when the French Quarter reopens. But search crews are still looking for bodies, and now prosecutors are filing murder charges against the owners of a Louisiana nursing home. It's only the beginning. That's the word from Louisiana prosecutors who are opening the legal floodgates on caregivers who abandoned their patients during Katrina. The Attorney General's office filed 34 charges of negligent homicide against the owners of this nursing home. And they're adding extra investigators to look into possible charges at other nursing homes and hospitals.
Normal sit back at the hotel.
For those who did evacuate, it's just a matter of replacing property. Still a daunting task. Many business owners in downtown are getting their first permits to clean up.
All we need right now is power and light, get it cleaned up. We're ready for tourists.
It's still unclear when sections of the city can open back up. Most recent federal tests show the air quality is safe, but floodwaters still pose a health risk. New Orleans mayor says he's awaiting results of those tests before reopening the French Quarter and the business district.
I'm tired of hearing these helicopters. I want to hear some jazz.
These pumping stations are draining about 9 billion gallons of water a day from the city, all of it pumped right back into Lake Pontchartrain.
There is no alternative. It can't be pumped into the river, and it can't be hauled out barrel by barrel. It has to be pumped into the lake.
As the flooding recedes, the slimy water leaves a thick film all over many areas. Officials caution as more areas become accessible, the death toll of 423 for Louisiana will surely go up. Well, right now, Louisiana prosecutors are investigating the discovery of 40 bodies at Memorial Medical Center in New Orleans, where it's been reported that many of the victims died of extreme heat and dehydration. Elliot Rodriguez, CBS 4 News.
President Bush will address the nation tomorrow night on the recovery after Katrina. Watch his live address at 9 o'clock right here on CBS 4.
And if you'd like to help the victims of Hurricane Katrina, give Neighbors for Neighbors a call at 305-597-4404 or toll free at 1-877-411-4242.
Portions of the Dolphin Expressway will be closed beginning tonight as workers begin securing beams on the Northwest 97th Avenue overpass that collapsed during Hurricane Katrina. The new braces will secure the beams from high winds during the remainder of hurricane season. The two westbound lanes on State Road 836 will be closed from Northwest 87th Avenue to 107th Avenue between 9 p.m. and 5:30 a.m. until September 28th.
Well, the state is stepping in after a 6-year-old girl with autism is found alone and in danger. The child was discovered in a swimming pool wearing only a diaper. CBS 4's Gary Nelson live now in Doral with the latest developments. Gary.
Well, Rob, this is a story that started out scary. A little girl who wandered off could have gotten hurt or worse, and it is ending now sad as a struggling, working single parent tries to get her children back.
I'm doing my best. I'm doing everything that I can.
Marielle Jerome says she's doing the best she can, trying now not to lose her children. Mary, her 6-year-old daughter, an autistic child, was found this morning wading in the pool at the Birchwood Apartments in West Miami-Dade. Earlier, she had been seen toddling across this adjacent golf course. The girl was in police care for hours as no one apparently missed her.
I've been talking to the detectives who were here and nobody has called.
Nobody has called.
Can you imagine that for a little girl that the parents wouldn't call the police? She's missing. It's hard to believe.
The girl's mom, who finally turned up frantic, says the child slipped out while she was sleeping, and she didn't realize the girl was gone until she woke up.
We just moved there and she opened the door because she's very smart. And she escaped because I was working last night late and she worked before, she wake up before me.
Police interviewed the mother and kept her kids for hours. They chose not to charge the mom, but the Department of Children and Families took custody of Mary and her 7-year-old brother. Concerned that Marielle Tyrone was staying with a friend at the apartment complex and has no permanent address. It's something DCF requires, something Tyrone says she can't afford.
That's not easy for me now because I do have an apartment in the past, but now I can't pay an apartment for them. So you know, for like 3-bedroom apartment or something like that, I can't.
So Marielle Tyrone, a struggling, working, single parent, is without her children tonight, without a place to live, her little girl, Mary, and her son in state custody. Now, police say Marielle Tyrone is apparently a good mother, a hard worker. She works full-time, trying to make a go of it, but DCF isn't going to give her kids back until they know that she has a stable roof over her head. She is trying to work that out some way tonight. Perhaps there's someone out there who could help. For now, we're live in Doral. Gary Nelson, CBS 4 News.
A big victory in court today for Jose Canseco. A judge has ended the former major leaguer's probation early. Canseco's lawyer requested the termination, saying it conflicted with the slugger's acting career, and Jose has done everything required to earn it. Canseco had served 18 months of his 3-year probation on criminal battery charges stemming from a fight at a South Beach nightclub in 2001.
A man walking out of a South Florida bank after making a large cash withdrawal is attacked and stabbed. CBS 4's Ileana Varela live on the scene in Southwest Miami-Dade with the latest on the investigation. Ileana.
Well, Rob, we're told that this victim was a regular customer here at this Bank United, and around noon today he withdrew a large amount of cash from a business account. He told police it was for a business transaction, but a thief had other plans for that money. On his way to the hospital, Yaisel Martin clutches his left side. That's where he was stabbed after withdrawing $37,000 from this Bank United at Tamiami Lakes Plaza. Martin and the money barely made it to his car in the parking lot when the robbers struck.
When he got to his vehicle, the subject approached him with a rope, put a rope around his neck, and was armed with a knife, and at knife point forced him into his vehicle.
Once inside the car, police say the robber tried to tie up the victim. The two men struggled and Martin was stabbed. The thief then took off with a money bag. Eventually, this mail carrier came to the rescue. He's the one who flagged down a passing police officer after hearing Martin's cries for help.
Upon approaching the vehicle, the officer discovered that there was a white male, 26 years old, identified as Yaisel Martin, that he was tied, and apparently he was stabbed.
You know, a bank is a secure environment, as secure as we can make it. But, you know, unfortunately, this happened in the parking lot. And the good news is that the customer seems to be okay. And, you know, he's a longtime customer of the bank, and our employees are really happy to hear that he's okay because they know him. He comes in the office a lot.
Police won't say whether they suspect Martin was specifically targeted by someone who knew he would be carrying a lot of cash, but other customers are certainly suspicious.
He took out a large amount of money. I don't know, I guess you should have thought better. I mean, I wouldn't be doing that. I'm okay with it. You know, it had to be like an inside job or something, who knows?
Either that or this was one lucky robber who hit the jackpot. Police say they're not ruling anything out, and they don't have a lot to go on. Not much of a description on the suspect or the getaway vehicle. They're hoping that the surveillance camera on this ATM out here may have caught the crime on tape. In the meantime, they're asking anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS. By the way, the victim is in stable condition tonight. In Southwest Miami-Dade, Ileana Varela, CBS 4 News.
Just into the CBS 4 News desk, businesswomen in Fort Lauderdale targeted by thieves. CBS 4's Evan Bacon is live at the breaking news desk with the latest. Evan.
Maggie, what a way to ruin a business trip. Two women from Pittsburgh here for a business meeting were enjoying lunch at Las Olas Boulevard. They returned to their car to find it was broken into, a busted window. Someone stole a laptop, some luggage, including clothes and jewelry. Funny enough, Mayor Jim Noggle, right down the block when this happened, ran over and tried to help. The good news, both women work in the insurance industry. Hopefully, their claims will be expedited. We're live at the news desk. Evan Bacon, CBS 4 News.
Death and destruction in Iraq when more than 150 people are killed in multiple bombings in and around Baghdad. A dozen explosions ripped through the city. Bombers targeted Iraqi police convoys, a hotel housing foreign contractors, and a U.S. military convoy. 2 American soldiers and at least 570 others were injured in the blasts. President Bush discussed the importance of unity against terror as he addressed the United Nations this morning. Mr. Bush urged those present to lend their support to the conflict in Iraq, saying its progress would have a lasting impact. He also took the time to thank all those who contributed to the Hurricane Katrina relief effort.
To every nation, every province, and every community across the world that is standing with the American people in this hour of need, I offer the thanks of my nation.
The president also spoke of a moral obligation to combat poverty and disease, and with the Security Council unanimously passed resolutions to stop terror and prevent conflict in Africa.
Supreme Court Chief Justice nominee John Roberts remaining cautious today during a grilling on Capitol Hill. CBS 4's Joy Purdy is here with more. Joy?
Maggie, Judge Roberts says he can't answer certain controversial questions because in the end his opinion doesn't matter. He's got to follow the law. But some senators are still trying to pin him down and are getting annoyed when Roberts won't budge.
I will not take to the court whatever personal views I have on the issues, and I...
Not good enough for some members of the Senate Judiciary Committee who kept pressing Judge John Roberts for his personal views. Day 2 of questioning, and Roberts still wouldn't waver, saying, for example, the law would be his guide in deciding right-to-die cases.
I'm trying to see your feelings as a man. I'm not asking you for a legal view.
It's one of those things I think it's difficult to put yourself in that position and say...
And just like day 1, Roberts wouldn't give his personal viewpoint on the issue of abortion, even when senators tried rewording their question.
Whether the individuals with disabilities have the same constitutional rights that you and I share while they're in the womb.
I do think, though, since those precise questions could come before the court, that is in the area that I have to refrain from answering.
Would you agree that the opposite of being dead is being alive?
Yes, again,
Other highlights, Judge Roberts said if 4 justices vote for a stay of execution and a 5th vote would temporarily keep the appeal alive, he would cast that vote. And he also said those members of Congress angry about a recent ruling could fight the new legislation allowing local governments to seize homes for private development. But whenever the questions got too personal, Roberts nearly pled the 5th, which for some was beyond frustrating.
So you've told me nothing, Judge. With all due respect, you've not... Look, it's kind of interesting, this kabuki dance we have in these hearings here. As if the public doesn't have a right to know what you think about fundamental issues facing them.
Kabuki dance. The hearings are moving quickly. The full Senate could vote on the nomination before the end of the week. Joy Purdy, CBS 4 News.
Still ahead, a string of armed hotel robberies in Broward. A hotel security guard shot in Miami-Dade. Tonight, investigators in 2 counties are looking into a dangerous crime connection. We'll be live.
Fort Lauderdale's #1 air carrier files for bankruptcy. Will it affect your flying plans?
But first, the family of Shannon Melendi in tears as the fate of the man accused of killing the South Florida teen 11 years ago is put in the hands of the jury. CBS 4's Brian Andrews is in Atlanta. His live report is next.
Want more morning news with half the commercials? Weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. That's just what you get from CBS 4 News.
Get more big news.
With less commercials.
More developing stories.
With less commercials.
More weather and traffic.
With less commercials.
More reports to keep you healthy and to help you save money, too.
Get more morning news with half the commercials.
And get more of the news you want right now.
Only on CBS 4 News this morning, weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m.
Attention shoppers, there's a Toyota Camry parked in a tow-away zone.
Now get $1,500 cash back or 1.9% APR financing for 36 months on the 05 Camry LE. That's $1,500 cash back or 1.9% financing. Toyota, moving forward.
nature's own white wheat. All the nutrition of wheat bread with a look and taste of white.
CarMax.com has over 20,000 cars online.
So you can get actual prices, photos, and descriptions of over 200 used BMWs, over 4,000 SUVs, and over 3,000 used cars and trucks priced below $10,000.
So if you find one that you like, you can have it transferred from anywhere in the country to the CarMax store nearest you. CarMax, the way car buying should be.
If you see news in the making, dial star CBS 4 on your T-Mobile cellular phone.
A Georgia jury is now deliberating the fate of the man accused of murdering Shannon Melendi.
CBS 4's Brian Andrews is live tonight in Decatur, Georgia, with more on today's closing arguments. Brian.
Maggie, the state says Butch Hinton did it and covered his tracks. Then he bragged about it to fellow prison inmates, and they even have scientific evidence that links him to the crime. The defense says the state doesn't have anything. They don't even have a body. And now it's up to a jury to decide who they believe.
Shannon Melendi had so much promise. This was a 19-year-old student who held down 2 jobs and had everything to live for, and she had her life snuffed out before she could even live it.
Prosecutors say Butch Hinton killed Shannon Melendi in 1994. They say he kidnapped the Emory University student from the softball complex where they both worked, then killed her. Shannon's body was never found. Hinton is serving time for burning down his house. Prosecutors say he told other inmates about Shannon's murder, telling one that the demons inside him killed her.
But make sure that the days of blaming inner demons are over. Butch Hinton is the demon. Butch Hinton is guilty.
You cannot decide this case on grave suspicion. Is there suspicion here? Obviously. There's been suspicion for a long time, but we're here in 2005 and we have to deal with evidence.
Hinton's lawyer says the state hasn't proved its case beyond a reasonable doubt.
No body, no crime scene, nothing tangible as to the whereabouts of Shannon Melendi after 1:20 p.m. March 26, 1994. That is the date, that is the time when the mystery before you began. One that's still a mystery right this moment.
The jury went home about 20 minutes ago. They'll be back at 8:30 in the morning to continue deliberations. Reporting live from just outside Atlanta, I'm Brian Andrews, CBS 4 News.
A counselor at a South Florida Catholic school fired in a controversy involving a 5-year-old girl. Allegations of abuse and the state's abuse hotline. That story coming up.
Plus, Brittany is a mom. Did she have a boy or a girl? We'll tell you next.
Closed captioning sponsored by City Furniture, now offering same-day delivery 7 days a week.
Hi, I'm Jason Taylor, and there's nothing better than a glass of cool, refreshing MacArthur Dairy milk. Sure, it's wholesome, and take a tip from me, it just does not come any fresher. Unless... MacArthur Dairy. If you want milk any fresher, you have to get it yourself.
Since 1954, Miami-Dade County has been the home of the Whopper.